kid on the block when it comes to artificial intelligence. Dr. Wojan, I don't think you're online, but I hope you will be by the time we come to the end of that session for Q&A. Could we play Dr. Wojan's presentation?
Sure. I gave several talks on generative AI, and I've been letting this guy do my intro.
Hello everyone, I'm Woojin Kim, a radiologist with expertise in imaging informatics. On top of that, I wear the hat of an entrepreneur. I appreciate each one of you for joining today's session. Let's dive into the captivating world of generative AI together.
Now, what if I were to tell you that I didn't write or say those words? First, I gave my profile photo to something called Midjourney and asked it to create some avatars for me. The first one looks more like a K-pop star, so I put that in the I wish category. The last one, sadly for me, really does look like me, but I thought it looked a little too silly. So I went with the one in the middle. After picking one, I asked ChatGPT to develop an introductory script for a generative AI talk. Then I cloned my own voice using 11 Labs and had it read out the script ChatGPT created. Then I supplied the Midjourney avatar image and the voice recording to DID, which animated and produced the video you just saw. Now I know what you're thinking. Would it be cooler to animate your profile photo instead? Well, I did try.
Hello everyone, I'm Woojin Kim, a radio.
I'm going to pause right there because it's super creepy even for me. Some of this technology isn't quite ready, but this field is rapidly moving. It is my hope to provide a balanced overview of this exciting technology today. Well, back to that earlier example. Don't worry, I won't play that again. But that was still 2023. I know we're still early in 2024, but here's what you can do today. Okay, this is a real Woojin for reference. In contrast, this part of the video is completely fake. The AI used a 2-minute video of me speaking to a webcam and generated an AI avatar of me. Can you tell that this video is not real? What are your thoughts on it? And I can make it speak different languages.
شكرا للمنظمين على الشرف وآمل زيارة مصر العام القادم.
So what's making all this possible? Welcome to the world of generative AI. Generative AI is a fascinating frontier of AI technology, an AI that's not just about classifying or predicting. It's about creating, be it text, images, audio, video, or synthetic data. The talk of the tech town has been this incredible capability to create high-quality content in a matter of seconds. Now, I know many of you are already familiar with this diagram from other AI talks, but let's revisit it. Here's how it fits. Generative AI, also known as Gen AI, is a faster deep learning, which means it uses artificial neural networks. To give you examples, a discriminator model, the ones you're used to seeing, once trained on cats and dogs, can label a given image as either a dog or a cat. If trained on images, a generative AI can be prompted to generate an image of a cat from scratch. Generative AI, however, is not just confined to images. It can take in an image and generate corresponding text or even a video. Thanks to ChatGPT, text-to-text is the use case we're most familiar with, but you can take text input and output images, audio, and video. So how did I get involved with generative AI? My own journey into generative AI began during the COVID-19 pandemic. As a travel enthusiast with a love for photography, I found myself confined. So I channeled my passion by blending my travel photos with famous paintings and by using AI to transfer famous artistic styles to my own photographs. Now this technique is called neural style transfer. It's almost 10 years old, but generative adversarial networks, GANs, played an important role in Gen AI. We can see what a GAN is by breaking down its name. First, there are two neural networks, a generator and a discriminator. The word generative is about a generator that generates, in this case, a painting of the Mona Lisa. The discriminator has been trained on real images. The word adversarial describes how these two neural networks compete against each other, where the discriminator learns to distinguish the generator's fake output from real data while the generator learns to trick the discriminator. This shows the rapid progress in using GANs for face generation, and it's becoming increasingly difficult to tell the difference between a real face and an AI-generated one. Here's another experiment I did. I compiled a collection of abstract paintings and trained a GAN model to create its own abstract art from scratch. Generative AI is not new. Its roots can be traced back to the 1960s when Joseph Weizenbaum created the first chatbot called the ELISA. Here's a sample dialogue where it simulates a psychotherapist. Well, my boyfriend made me come here. Your boyfriend made you come here? He says I'm depressed much of the time. I'm sorry to hear you're depressed. It's true, I'm unhappy. Do you think coming here will help you not to be unhappy? But here's the thing, ELISA works largely by rephrasing the patient's responses. Weizenbaum said, I had not realized that extremely short exposure to a relatively simple computer program could induce powerful delusional thinking in quite normal people. This tendency to project human traits into chatbots is called an ELISA effect, and we still see it today. While much of the buzz is around ChatGPT, to better illustrate some of the excitement and interest around this technology, I wanted to share some of the directions in which generative AI is moving. You may have heard of DALL-E, where an AI model creates pictures based on text input. DALL-E was introduced in 2021 by the same folks behind ChatGPT, and here are some examples of what I mean. You give it a text prompt, an armchair in the shape of an avocado, and this is what DALL-E generates. And this area is advancing quickly. OpenAI released DALL-E 3 in late September last year, and this is what you get when you type in tiny potato cakes. A chair that is Nietzsche inspired. In fact, this is what you can do with ChatGPT Plus today. But diffusion models came along, and subsequent open access to something called stable diffusion was a huge game changer. Predictably, the radiology community didn't wait to tap into stable diffusion's potential. Here's a work from Stanford in 2022 using stable diffusion to generate synthetic chest radiographs. As you can see, stable diffusion does not generate realistic chest x-rays out of the box, not even close. I'd say even the Stanford version don't look particularly amazing here. However, just a month later, another paper from Stanford shows some impressive results. You can generate synthetic chest x-rays simply using text prompts. And I'd say those radiographs look real. You can now also create medical images other than chest x-rays. Last year, I gave a talk on burnout and AI, and I created this painting of me being burnt out. But I wanted to add a computer monitor in front of me. Well, you can do that now using a technique called inpainting. Using inpainting, this work from the Mayo Clinic shows how you can draw a region of interest on a brain MRI image to synthetically create brain tumors. People are also using diffusion models to generate images from, believe it or not, fMRI outputs. The top row depicts images shown to a subject in a study, and the bottom row shows images reconstructed from the subject's brain fMRI signals. You saw AI translating from earlier. This one is from Meta, which not only translates instantly, but also mimics the expression.
Please keep the volume down. We just put the baby to sleep. Por favor, mantenga el volumen bajo. Acabamos de terminar el video.
With pseudo AI, you can generate an entire song with vocals using just text prompts. Videos. Here's the prompt. A movie trailer about a 30-year-old spaceman wearing a red wool motorcycle helmet, blue skies, salt desert. And this is what Sora from OpenAI generates. Again, why stop there? After the Sora announcement, 11 Labs added sound effects generated by AI.
In a place beyond imagination, where the horizon kisses the heavens, one man dares to journey where few have ventured. Armed with nothing but his wit and an unyielding spirit, he seeks the answers to mysteries that lie beyond the stars.
Then OpenAI gave access to some creative directors and filmmakers, and this is one example of what they created.
Welcome to Beyond Our Reality, a journey in parallel worlds, where we delve into the extraordinary. Episode 1 unveils the grappling of the STEM hybrid that roams the savannah with grace and vibrant hues.
So remember how I had to code neurostyle transfer models manually? Now, just tell the AI what you want, and this is what you can do. And remember the GAN abstract art model I had to make? Now, just give Midjourney a simple prompt like this one, and create an abstract art like this. Now, using another AI, this one from Korea, you can even creatively upscale your images. It is incredible what you're able to create using generative AI today. And this field is moving quickly, faster than any other technology I've seen in my lifetime. In November 2022, OpenAI released ChatGPT, where an AI model is trained to allow interactions like a chatbot. For those of you who haven't heard of it, it's a chatbot that can answer questions and assist you with tasks such as composing emails, essays, and code. In many circles, it's even being hailed as the iPhone moment for AI. In order for you to better understand ChatGPT, you need to first know large language models, LLMs. Andre Kapati, who used to be at OpenAI, has a terrific video lecture on LLMs. He explains by using an open source model called Llama, since GPT models are closed and their architecture is a secret. Essentially, it has two files, one that holds the parameters and the other that runs them. For our purpose, a large language model with a higher parameter count can discern more intricate patterns from the data. Think of it as compressing the internet, lossy compression. Training LLMs takes many GPUs, can take several weeks, and is very expensive. Going over exactly how these chatbots work is beyond the scope of this talk, but let me give you a super simplified version. Chatbots like ChatGPT are based on transformers that predict the next word. Well, technically, to be more precise, they are predicting the next token, which can be a word or a part of the word. Where is the future of Gen AI headed? One future direction is large multimodal models. Unlike text in and text out, with multimodal models, you can input any modality and get the same or different modality output. For example, using ChatGPT Plus, this is what you are able to accomplish today. So using the app, you can take a picture of your bicycle and ask to help lower your bike seat, and it will give you some instructions. You decide to take a close-up shot and draw a circle around it and ask, is this a lever? ChatGPT responds, no, it's not a lever, it's a bolt, and you need an Allen wrench to loosen it. So you decide to take a picture of your toolbox and ask if you have the right tool. It will take a look at that toolbox and it will say, yes, you do have the right tool. It's called the Walt, and it's on the left side of the toolbox. A recent article by well-known physician author, Dr. Eric Topol, also indicates this multimodal trend. Generating a fully automated radiology report from images is no longer science fiction. This paper explored the benefits of including prior images and reports in chest radiograph report generation tasks. If you think about it, as a radiologist, this makes sense, right? After all, when we generate our reports, we don't look at just the current study. We also review the current reports and incorporate those findings into our report. Indeed, this is exactly what they found. And you can see more research heading in this direction in the future. This is a MetCom-M model from Google from last year. You can see how it generates a chest X-ray report directly from an image. Yes, expect a fully automated reporting soon, not just the chest X-rays, but CT images. Some of the future trends include AI agents and robotics. So what do you get when you combine large multimodal models with robotics? This is from Figure AI.
Hey, Figure 1, what do you see right now?
I see a red apple on a plate in the center of the table.
a drying rack with cups and a plate, and you standing nearby with your hand on the table.
Great, can I have something to eat?
Sure thing.
Great. Can you explain why you did what you just did while you pick up this trash?
On it. So I gave you the apple because it's the only edible item I could provide you with from the table.
Great. So, based on the scene right now, where do you think the dishes in front of you go next?
The dishes on the table, like that plate and cup, are likely to go into the drying rack next.
Great. Can you put them in?
Of course.
Expect to see massive advances in robotics thanks to generative AI. I want to now highlight some potential Gen AI uses in medicine. In 1891, the English artist Sir Luke Fildes painted the doctor. You can see a Victorian doctor seated at the bedside of a sick child. Fast forward, here's a drawing by a 7-year-old girl who handed her pediatrician this drawing. Unlike the doctor painting, you see the doctor focused on the computer and not the child. Why? Because of electronic medical records. This is one of the many reasons why American doctors do not like EMRs. Here's how Gen AI can help. By listening to the doctor-patient interactions, it can generate notes for the doctor, allowing him or her to focus on the patient. In the US, there are now several companies that are offering the solution commercially. Since I'm a radiologist, let me give you a deeper dive into how Gen AI can help physicians by using radiology as an example. How many of you recognize what this is? Before the days of PACS, the X-ray films were hung on a moving contraption called an alternator. The easiest way for me to describe this device is that it works kind of like a garment conveyor you see at your local dry cleaner. A radiologist would cycle through panel after panel using a foot pedal. So why am I talking about a device you might find in a museum in a generative AI talk? It's because there is an aspect of radiology reporting that many of us miss from this era. You see, back then you can keep your eyes on the films the entire time. Why? Because you only had the films in front of you and a dictaphone in your hand, nothing else. And guess what? After you're done dictating, the transcriptionist will take care of not only the report formatting, but also fix your errors, often without you even realizing it. In contrast, let's take a look at how radiologists dictate today. Because of speech recognition and structured reporting, the radiologists look at the image and then dictate the finding in one of the fields in the report template. They go back to look at the image and dictate another finding in a different field. And they do this back and forth, kind of like this. You can see why this is a problem. Well, I'm hoping to show through my presentation today that generative AI can play a role in bringing back some of the benefits from the past. Let's face it, everyone's excited about generative AI in radiology. The ChatGPT fever is spreading fast. There are a lot of potential radiology use cases, but since this is a little messy, let's organize these by looking at the life cycle of a radiology report. Why? Because radiology reports are the primary work product of radiologists. Simply put, LLMs can assist before, during, and after report generation. Before interpreting an image examination, radiologists review the reason for the examination, prior imaging reports, and risk or MR. LLM can provide concise summarization, but can also be used to be interactive and allow the radiologist to ask questions. During the report generation process, LLMs can convert free text to structured reports, check for errors, provide clinical decision support, and automatically generate impressions. Using LLMs, what if you could dictate only the essential findings and generate the entire report, allowing the radiologist to keep their eyes on the images the whole time? Here's what I mean. On the right-hand side, the radiologist only dictates the essential findings from the images. Once he or she is done, look over, and the AI has generated the full report for the radiologist. This day and age, you really shouldn't have to dictate the history, technique, or comparison. And the AI should be able to take the essential findings and put them into the correct positions within the structured report. But it is also smart enough to leave the negative findings within the structured report itself. And afterwards, it will be able to use the findings to generate the impression automatically. Taking that even further, radiologists often look at exams with prior images and reports, and frequently there are no interval changes. But you can't simply copy and paste the prior report. However, Gen AI can be used to generate a report with prior findings with a simple command. Imagine the time savings. Now, what if there is something slightly different on today's exam? Just dictate what's different and let the AI take care of the rest for you. LLMs can also be used to check for errors beyond spelling errors, such as nonsense words, left and right errors, wrong body parts, and contradictions. When you look at radiologist reports, there is always an impression or summary section. Generating this section takes time, and attempts to automatically create impressions have been a popular area of research, especially in the past year. One thing to note, however, is that there has been a commercial solution in this space for the last several years. Hence, I can tell you, not only does this feature save time, but it also reduces radiologists' cognitive burden. People who have used it will tell you they feel less tired at the end of the day. Yes, many papers have looked at using GPT models for auto-impression. However, as you can see from this GPT-4 versus radiologist paper, even the most advanced model has much to go. Why? Because you also need to include personalization. Let's face it, we as physicians like how we sound. Researchers are slowly figuring this out. A famous figure from a paper by Google showed that only a tiny portion of real-world machine learning ML systems are composed of ML code, highlighting the complexity of the ML infrastructure. Similarly, clinical adoption of AI is complicated, and we need to look beyond the clinical accuracy of models that many research papers focus on. In addition, we must be careful not to equate clinical accuracy with clinical efficiency. I would even further argue that neither clinical accuracy nor efficiency necessarily translates to clinical utility. For example, if an AI solution enables a radiologist to read 200 cases a day instead of 100, it may make someone high up happy, but that enhanced efficiency is impractical as it will burn out the radiologist and exacerbate the staffing shortage problem that is plaguing the world today. Unless this can be achieved with the effort of reading, say, 50 cases. Finally, let's look at the potential of LLMs after generating the reports. Several papers have looked into using LLMs for converting radiology reports into patient-friendly versions and into other languages. Here is one of the earliest papers that used ChatGPT to generate patient-friendly reports. You have the original report on the left, and on the right is what ChatGPT created. Since the writings are small, I will read you some excerpts. The original report read, the lateral compartment, extensive bone marrow edema of the lateral tibial plateau, oblique tear at the posterior horn of the meniscus, and ChatGPT rewrote that to, the lateral compartment is the outside part of your leg. There is a lot of swelling in the bone in the top of your shin bone. There is a tear in the meniscus, which is a C-shaped piece of cartilage in your knee. Now, let me balance the potential of Gen AI in radiology with some pitfalls and limitations. And there are several. It has bias issues, and its impact on the environment is not insignificant. Now, one of the biggest limitations of LLMs I want to highlight is their propensity to hallucinate, or some prefer the term confabulation, fabricating realities with astounding confidence, which is a significant weakness. And I will show that even though the research community is not immune from recognizing these pitfalls, and there are a lot of bad papers out there. Now, for some truly what the heck moments, here's an example of X-ray GPT, which many people tweeted about. Looks impressive at first. However, looking carefully, you can see that the image it pretends to read and describe has no relationship to the generated text. It's utter nonsense. It's like showing you a picture of a cat with a description of an elephant. Here's another famous paper showing the power of GPT-4V with an example of an accurate radiology report it generated. Well, you can see in my notes, this has a lot of errors and limitations. Here's another article from JACR that had ChatGPT write a portion of the article. Now, it may have been a neat experiment, but as you can see, there were errors that bypassed both the authors and the peer review process. I had to write a letter to the editor for this one, where I ended it with just please don't simply copy and paste. Well, it looks like more people need to be reminded. This isn't a radiology peer review journal, clearly a copy and paste from a chatbot. Another headline you see often is how these chatbots pass USMLE and radiology board exams. While the performance may appear impressive, testing LLMs like people could lead to misleading results and misinterpreting their capabilities. While academic exams may not always accurately measure students' abilities, we often assume that those who perform well possess particular understanding, knowledge, and problem-solving skills. However, determining whether a high score from LLMs indicates genuine comprehension, results from statistical correlations, or stems from mere memorization can be challenging. Does it even make sense to test LLMs the same way we test people? These authors argue that human benchmarks are meaningless for bots. When I used to give talks on deep learning in radiology, I often mention how brittle AI was. Well, guess what? LLMs are also brittle. For example, did you know that just changing the order of the answer choices can affect how GPT-4 answers questions? What's more, LLMs trained on A is B are often lying to the inverse B is A. This is called the reversal curse. I hope the research community will shift its focus to figuring out what is happening under the hood and evaluating in ways that reflect the actual practice of medicine. After all, the last time I looked, none of the images on my pass came with multiple choice options. One of the fundamental issues with researching models like GPT-4 is that such models are closed models, meaning we do not know their architecture, training data, and so on. Remember how you can use diffusion models to generate synthetic data? Using generative AI to create synthetic data has the potential benefits of addressing privacy concerns and augmenting data diversity and quality within the medical domain. But Kichoda and the group showed that deep learning models can be trained to predict rays from medical images with high performance. Yet the mechanism of such detection remains elusive. So, what else are the AI models synthesizing besides the lesion you're augmenting in the training data set? What hidden biases are you unwittingly perpetuating? Finally, relying too much on synthetic data can backfire, as they often lack the richness and complexity of real data and can lead to model collapse, where the model performance worsens over time if you train on synthetic data. You also have to have guardrails against jailbreaking. Here's one example that's been patched already, but shows how easily you can trick the LLM into revealing its training data. Sure, you can put up a guardrail, but another paper just came out that showed how you can trick the LLMs by giving many examples of how to behave badly. Sure, you can put up another guardrail after that, but this is like a whack-a-mole, and this is the status of Gen AI security today. For the healthcare leaders listening, your reputation is at stake when it comes to using AI. Hence, you need to know the limitations. My parting advice is please do not put sensitive information into any public-facing chatbots like ChatGPT. If you don't feel comfortable seeing it on a billboard somewhere, don't ask ChatGPT. In this article, Creation and Adoption of LLMs in Medicine, there is this quote: "The medical profession has made a mistake in not shaping the creation, design, and adoption of most information technology systems in healthcare." Fill in the blank. The same mistake cannot be repeated. This is why, even if you're not tech savvy, you need to know about Gen AI, because we must avoid repeating the same mistakes. While I cannot predict the Gen AI future, I can tell you it will be a wild ride. I would like to conclude this talk by returning to this photo. This time, I want you to look not at the alternator, but at the radiologist and those around him. Putting aside the all-white male bias of the era, the other thing you notice is the radiologist being the doctor's doctor, something we lost over the years. Look, despite limitations, I think Gen AI has tremendous potential, and it's something all of us, even if you are not technical, should know about. As Dr. Paul Cheng mentioned in a recent editorial, it's my hope that technologies like Gen AI and other IT advances can help radiologists return to being the doctor's doctor. And, related, other physicians return to focus on taking care of the patients and be able to practice at the top of their licenses. Thank you for your kind attention. Please feel free to connect with me and contact me.